All right, so we're walking alongside the upper Echo Lake. This is what it looks like. It's pretty low, but you can see some of these cabins that are on the lake here, which are nice. Bob up ahead, we're on this rocky trail. When we get beyond the lake, you're going to be seeing lower Echo Lake, which is a bit smaller. This is it. It's a beautiful day out. It might be a little overheated. Might have to go down the short here shortly.
Dave, it looks like the fire came down here a little bit.
Oh. Yes. Had a fire here a while back. This is what it looks like. This is a beautiful area. We haven't entered Desolation Wilderness yet, but Desolation Wilderness is one of the popular areas up here. So we had to get our permit to make sure we could even come into Desolation Wilderness today. And they do have people that check your permits. I saw a Forest Service worker with her pack on walking into the trail just as we got on the trail. So we're going to probably encounter her at some point. But here it is. There's an example of a small cabin down there, one just below us. But yeah, we'll check back with you shortly.
Yeah, we got two cabins down there.
Made it up to the backside of Upper Echo Lake. You can see some of the cabins here and the lake out in front of me. And so over here, there's a cabin behind that tree there on the rock. This is where we came from. We're going to be going this direction. It's flat at the moment, but at some point we're going to be doing some climbing before we head back down into Lake of the Woods. Bob up there and the oncoming hikers. All right, so I'm assuming we're probably about 2 miles, 2.5 miles in. That's where we came from. We've been pretty much exposed to the sun coming alongside the lakes. That's lower Echo Lake. You can't really see it in there. It's smaller, but there's a lot of trees back in here and it's shady, so I thought I'd share this with you. And yeah, so we're heading to Lake of the Woods. We still have a few miles before we get there. It's about 11 a.m. Coming upon lunch in the next hour. It's about 11:30 in the morning. This is the way we came. Starting to go uphill and rocky. You can see lower Echo Lake in the foreground, and in the background you see upper Echo Lake. We're heading up this way. You can see Bob up ahead. And right over here, there's going to be an overlook. So I'll get you some pictures from that overlook here shortly. It's warming up. I was down to my zippy shorts and it was cold down by the lake, so I put my pants on, full pants, and now I'm starting to warm up again. So at some point I might go down his shorts again to cool down. But we'll be up there shortly and I'll show you some pictures. Okay, made it to the overlook. A little winded. Yeah, let me show you where we're going and you can kind of see the lake here in a minute. All right, here's a view of the two lakes. Again, in the foreground you have lower Echo Lake, in the background upper Echo Lake, and you have those islands out there which are pretty neat. You can see mountains around us. It's all granite. We are officially in Desolation Wilderness and got a few miles to go. Take a little breather here. All right, so we're heading up a pretty good climb here. This is the trail I'm on now, and it's pretty much all up from this point. When we get to the top of the ridge, there should be a turn off to the left, which will take us to the Lake of the Woods juncture. We've had 1 or 2 people pass us by that were day hiking, so they're moving a lot faster. We had a couple pass us by with one of the backcountry rangers. The woman fell and had dislocated her shoulder, so the ranger was carrying her pack down and helping them out as she was making her way down the hill. About 3 or 4 miles back, we saw a big guy come down without a shirt on. He was holding his shirt to his head, and he was just bleeding profusely. He had blood everywhere, but he said he was fine. He's going to be okay to get out. So I'm thinking he fell on his head. But we're doing fine. It's hot. Took my lower parts of my pants off. You can see Bob coming up the trail. That's Tamarack Lake. And this is us heading up. We should be making our turn off here sooner or later. See you shortly. Okay, we're heading into a wooded area. We made it up the one hill or mountain or whatever it was, the rocky area. And Aloha Lake is out in front of us. I'm not certain how far out in front of us. We're still looking for our juncture to turn left to get down to Lake of the Woods, but finally hitting some tall wooded area, which is nice. More shade, no rocks on the ground or lesser rocks, so it's better on the feet. And I'd say we're probably coming upon 6 miles in, and so I think we're probably still 2 miles out. Probably gonna be about an 8 to 9 mile day today, I guess. But we have some logs up here that we might sit at and take a rest at. So this is where we're heading, and I'll spin around and show you Bob and where we came from. So this is where we came from. All right, heading this way, getting ready to take a break. All right, we're heading towards Lake of the Woods. We just met the juncture. We turned, and you can see kind of in a small meadow right now. And okay, Hay-Pressed Meadows maybe. And we're going to be hitting a climb here shortly, a short climb. And after we get that short climb, we will be on a downhill to the lake. And I'll check in with you to show you what it looks like as we get closer, and as well as when we hit that climb, so you can see what we're up against. Well, I'll keep it going a few more minutes. We've seen a number of hikers already pass us by, going different places. Some of them might be going down to this lake as well. Others are going in different directions. But for a Friday, there are people out and about, getting an early start to their weekend as we are. So, this is, ooh, it's pretty back in here. There's some sort of orangish, reddish plant growing. It's pretty neat. You don't see that very often. Let me see if I can get some of that in there. So there you go. That's where we're heading. I'll check back with you shortly. This is where we came from. We're heading down the trail as you see Bob doing now. That is Lake of the Woods out there in between the trees. Kind of hard to see, but it's beautiful from my perspective. I'll show you more of it as we get down there. Okay, we made it down to Lake of the Woods. We're heading along the trail now, looking for a spot. There's somebody on the rock way at the far right down there looking like they're going swimming, so that might be occupied. Way down at the far right.
I can see right out there.
Yeah, there's a person over there on the rocks getting ready to jump in. All right, so that tells you there are people over there. Following Bob down the trail as we look for a spot. So somebody has their tent set up down here. We'll be walking by a camp on our way. And then Bob has a spot he likes that he knows about. We're hoping he's available off to the left up here. So we're gonna keep going around the lake until we check it out. It looks like there might be about 8 spots in total around the lake to the left and the right.
I wonder if this is where...
That's the right. That's the trail, probably to the right. Yeah, Lake Aloha. Takes you to Lake Aloha too.
Oh.
So here you are.
Well,
this is the lake. I'll check back with you when we get to our campsite. All right, it's 4 p.m. We're at Lake of the Woods. Here's my tent set up. Finally got my tent set up big like I like it. Show you what it looks like on the inside. I'm going to leave this side vented tonight so that some air can come in. And then I'm right up against a rock, so that will actually shelter the wind. There's Bob's tent there. Our cooking area is going to be up above, and there's Lake of the Woods back in there. You can see people on the other side of the lake, someone at the entrance to the lake as we came in, and there's a tent over here as well. So yeah, this is it. Gonna get dinner started and start reading my book. Okay, so our camp, as I showed you earlier, my tent's down there. I'm standing where we're gonna be cooking. That's my odor-free food bag, my bear canister with the seat on it, where my Soto Windmaster is boiling water. I'm gonna have a Mountain House tonight, spaghetti, and some hot apple cider. And then there's the lake out there. It's nice out right now. There's not much, slight breeze going, not much wind otherwise. And it's not hot or cold, it's just perfect. It's gonna be a good night.